Hello, welcome to another episode of the Citi Business Edition here on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Michael Obudu and thank you for tuning in. And today on the show we have someone who's very particular about Ghana and promoting everything Ghana. And we have none other but the managing director of Citi FM and Citi TV, Mr. Attah-Mensah, walking us through something he's cooking or pushing with regards to the whole Ghana conversation. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
So we've heard a bit about the Make It Ghana initiative the station is promoting. What really is it about?
Thank you, Michael. Make It Ghana is a theme that we have crafted this year to lead us in our Ghana conversations. And the theme Make It Ghana is something that is being promoted by Citi FM and Citi TV for Ghana. Yes, we are the initiators, but it's not the use and the expression of Make It Ghana will not be limited to just Citi FM, Citi TV. And I'm talking about the expression of it. So Make It Ghana theme is a clarion call on Ghanaians to help market, promote and sell Ghana. And basically that's what it is. It's to help influence the choice decisions of people to consume Ghana, to patronize Ghana, to support Ghana. You know, every and anything Ghana is now being pushed to the consumer. So this is Make It Ghana. And it also expresses itself in different forms. You know, if you look at the thematic areas under Make It Ghana, we talk about investment, we talk about tourism, and we talk about film production. So there are three legs of Make It Ghana, not limited to these three, but these are the three overarching footprints of Make It Ghana.
We know there have been several agendas or initiatives to push this whole Ghana conversation. How different or unique is Make It Ghana?
Well, you see, in brand communication, there's something called brand reinforcement or communication reinforcement. And I think that, yes, you're right that there have been different attempts or different programs to project and market Ghana. So in our small space, with the kind of channels and mediums that we have, we thought it wise to also complement the already existing efforts of promoting Ghana. And ours is to make it available for the, if you like, the use of Ghanaians in marketing Ghana. And is going to be made available through memorabilia, in baseball caps, in t-shirts, in polo shirts, and all the different kinds, for people to just help get the message across in helping Ghanaians, one, to learn how to make the choice of patronizing, one, made in Ghana products, made in Ghana services, made in Ghana everything, okay? And then also secondly, to push the message across borders to help foreigners looking into Ghana to buy made in Ghana or Ghana services, investments, tourism, film production. So this is Make It Ghana.
Okay, I'm sure you'll walk us through the various legs and what this initiative hopes to achieve specifically, but let me ask, how crucial would you say this initiative is, particularly where we find ourselves as a country?
Well, you see, the thing is, we find ourselves as a country at a very critical edge of the cliff, okay? And is what we call a tipping point. You know, it's you push too hard, you're going down. You don't push too hard, you are still wavering. Okay, and so we are looking at deploying every resource that we have, and we have media, and that's why we are using this call to help project and promote Ghana across sectors, you know, and it's a call that we are throwing it out there for all Ghanaians to have a buy-in to help promote Ghana.
Okay, now people would argue that some of these initiatives should originally be championed by government. Why do you think it's important for actors like media, for instance, to be involved in this?
I will not disagree if people expected government to champion some of these efforts. I must say that government in, government out, they've always found a way of promoting Ghana. Of course, they have the budget. We do not have. What we have done is to craft a concept which can get Ghanaians to latch on to promote Ghana. Okay? And so it will just be a complementary effort to what governments do. Okay? And indeed, government can even latch on to this Make It Ghana. Okay? Because thing is, it's only the government that has the resources to travel from one country to another to physically promote Ghana. We don't. But question, can government latch on to this Make It Ghana and reinforce the messaging to a potential investor? The answer is yes. Can the Ghana tourism people latch on to this and use it to appeal to potential visitors? The answer is yes. Can the film authority use Make It Ghana as a propeller to invite foreigners for an opportunity to collaborate in film production? The answer is yes. So this is how it expresses itself.
Okay. Now, it's interesting that Citi FM and Citi TV is literally synonymous to tourism and pushing such initiatives. But it appears the organization does well with doing this, whereas generally there appears to be the perception that that territory is very difficult to enter in. I'll give a classic example, like the caravan conversation that we've pushed here at Citi FM and Citi TV. 2 months before its implementation, before the trip comes off, it's sold out. And over the years, you've seen demand really spike. What are we doing right, and what seems to be working for us in that space? And what can others also learn as we push this whole Ghana conversation?
Well, I think, first of all, we are an organization that has been interested in promoting country Ghana. That's the first motivation. And we are thinking that in promoting Ghana, the low-hanging fruits, one of which will be tourism. And tourism has no restriction. Every region in Ghana has a tourism potential, which in my estimation, we have not even scratched the surface. And so we as a medium believe that we can utilize the opportunity we have as if you like an authoritative medium to trigger this drive to promote tourism. And that's exactly what we do. Ours is to trigger and to showcase how we can make better use of this opportunity. You gave an example of the Heritage Caravan. Truth is, we are not a tour services company. That's not our business. So question is, why then do we get into the caravan? Okay. What people should know is that we do the Heritage Caravan trip once in a year, only in the month of March, and it's just for 1 week. So if we can do this for 1 week, just 1 week out of the 52 weeks in a year, why won't people ask, what happens to the 51 weeks that are left? If a radio TV station decides that we'll take 1 week to do this, and your question is, why are you doing it? I'll say, hold on, what happens to the 51 weeks left? If we did it for 1 week, why isn't somebody else doing it for another week? All I'm trying to say is that the opportunity is out there for everybody to participate. Okay, we do quick 7-day travel. Why don't you decide that, okay, based on what you have seen Citi do, it's a suggestion that there is a demand if it's properly packaged and sold and promoted to people. You understand? So ours is to trigger this as a business for the industry people to know that it's possible, and that's exactly what we do. We are not seeking to, if you like, compete with them. Definitely not. Okay. So yes, why is it sold ahead of time? Because over the years it's garnered a certain level of credibility, and with high reputation, consistency and reliability. Because of that, people have confidence that when they promise, this is exactly what they deliver. And most of the time, when we are done at the conclusion stages of the caravan, if you talk to patrons, they will tell you in one sentence that we actually got more than we paid for. And basically that's it. Again, the other side is because we're a media house, we have a bit of an advantage in event packaging and promotion, because that's our business. By that, we are able to seek sponsorship from companies who are also interested in this cause. Now, with the kind of sponsorships that we seek, it helps us beat down the pricing. So the price points for participation is generally lower than what the commercial person would do. But be that as it may, what we are saying is that it only tells the story. I mean, we go with at times 200 people, 150, 160 people, okay? But it doesn't mean that if you're running a business, you should also do 100 people, okay? You can start with 10, you can start with 20, and that's huge. We've done trips outside of Ghana to Rwanda, to Cape Town, to Mauritius. We've done it, yes, just here. So you see, ours is to drive tourism, but Ghana first. It's Ghana first. So that's why we do what we do.
Interesting. If you're listening, if you just tuned in, this is 97.3 Citi FM, and this is the Citi Business Edition, and we have in studio Mr. Attah-Mensah, the Managing Director of Citi FM and Citi TV, telling us all about the Make It Ghana initiative that the station is championing. And I'm sure if you're a player in the tourism industry, he shared a couple of nuggets that you can glean from to help you promote actively this Made in Ghana agenda. But then you've mentioned 3 legs of this whole initiative. First off, what influenced the choice of this space, the film, tourism and investment?
Okay, so we again, I always look at the low-hanging fruits, as I said. If you are promoting brand Ghana itself can be sold with different elements, okay? But we are looking at the elements of brand Ghana that will appeal to the widest possible percentage of audiences. And we think that among others, these 3 will stand tall. That is investments. Make it Ghana. Now, Make it Ghana investments is Make it Ghana when you are taking economic decisions. Make it Ghana. In fact, be selfish about choosing Ghana. You understand? It's the word selfish, right?
Yeah.
Let it be that I am doing it because it's Ghana and I'm Ghanaian. Because it's done elsewhere. It's done elsewhere. If you are crafting a policy regarding Ghana, any policy, think about Ghana first. Education policy, health policy, across board, a great policy. Make it think about Ghana and Ghanaians first. That's why we say the investment thing. If you don't sell the investment potential and push Ghana solidly as the investment destination, then we are doomed. And so that's the first leg about investment, making Ghana. To the foreigner, if you have to take an investment decision, if you have to relocate to anywhere in Africa, make it Ghana. Choose to be in Ghana because there are compelling benefits if you make that choice of being in Ghana or making the choice to locate your investment in Ghana. So that's why we talk about investment.
coming from a business leader, I think that's a very profound statement to make, especially in times like that everybody says things are hard.
Well, I don't know. Let's put it in context. Rita Mali has a song that says that who feels it knows it.
Okay.
Who feels it knows it. So everybody says things are hard. That's only a matter of fact. But tell me whether the average person in the United Kingdom is now saying that things are better.
Okay.
The average person walking on the streets of New York says things are better. I'm not so sure. You understand?
Yeah.
As we say, nowhere cool. But we choose to brighten our corner. You understand?
Yeah.
Today, as we speak, the German Parliament has paid a visit to Ghana. 2 weeks ago, the German finance minister was in Ghana. Are you thinking that they are daft? If it's that bad and it promises nothing, why are they coming here? So all I'm saying is that yes, we are in a bad place, but we are not condemned.
Okay.
There's still something we can do to turn around. And that's why I say that it's a clarion call for everybody. Every Ghanaian should play their role to sell Ghana. The policymaker will have theirs. Some they will fail, some they will succeed, some they will mess it up, some they will triumph. But as for us, what we are saying is that so long as you call yourself a Ghanaian, it comes with being a Ghanaian that you should promote Ghana. Promote Ghana is not a call to support government policy, one government or another. Is that the space you find yourself, let Ghana be first at all times. That's all I'm saying. That's why we say the investment should come to Ghana. The banks should relocate to Ghana. The hospitality companies should look at coming to Ghana. You understand? The academic institutions should look at coming to Ghana. The assembly companies, the vehicle assembly companies should choose Ghana. That's all we are saying. Government will do their bit, but we have a medium, and we are using the medium to restate the mission of Make It Ghana. Investment, it has to come to Ghana. So that is it for the investment bit.
Suddenly listening to you just makes it seem like Ghana isn't that bad after all.
Well, you see, if you look at the Michael Porter's competitive advantage of nations, you will see that you always look at the comparative advantage and competitive advantage. I always say that as a country, we run out of comparative advantage. There's nothing that we can talk about to give us comparative advantage, except we look inside our own country. And tourism is one of the things. Tourism is the only thing left that we can have as a country a comparative advantage. Think about it. Because the American should not be in a position to sell Ghana better than you, the Ghanaian.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
So that said, we need to take advantage of that. And then there's a competitive advantage. Again, there are ways of doing things which are unique to us. Our food, our entertainment. You get me? All these things can be crafted and packaged properly in a Ghanaian way that will be attractive to the foreigner, which is good value, great value. And that's why we have taken this decision, Michael.
Interesting. But talking about tourism still, especially during the Christmas festivities, we saw the influx of celebrities, international stars come around. It means that to some extent we are getting something right. So what really is left? Okay.
Now, you see, tourism, by its definition, is a very wide spectrum of activities. But the underlying feature about tourism is travel or movement of people. Okay? Because the process of movement itself causes an activity called consumption. While you move from point A to point B, you use use transportation, true?
True.
You will buy water, you will buy food, you will sleep, you will have entertainment. So the various elements that are available to be consumed, the sum total of these various elements is the value that tourism creates for an economy. That's why I believe that it is very important for us to look at tourism and to promote same. See, I have said this and let me repeat. We heard before that Malaysia, Singapore, and some of these countries had independence the same time as Ghana, or within the same period. How many years down the line, if you do an assessment, they are years, light years ahead of us in development. True?
True.
Yes. And I have always said that it is because they had their identity already crafted before independence. These are Chinese people who had in their bag about 6,000 years of civilization even before their so-called independence. So there was no question about who they were, how they will express their cultures and their traditions. Their language. That's why they have stuck to their language. They were colonized, but they have stuck to their language. You understand?
Yeah.
But here we are in Africa. We were colonized with a very high degree of primitive cultures. You understand?
Yeah.
Which cultures are largely bastardized and balkanized. We have been cut down into small states that cannot survive on their own. So I am saying that if we can put our tourism together, and I talk about tourism, there are different aspects, how to again package our cultures so that we can generate value. What value am I talking about? Visits. I mean, look, Ghana is one country that has the highest frequency of organized funerals. True?
True.
But ask me, isn't there a tourism element of funerals, the way they are organized?
Yeah.
Have we looked at that? We don't. And I'm not saying that you need a foreigner to come and do. Look, if you go to the Ashanti region, they do Akwesidai. You go to Volta region, they are having Ogbechocho. You go to... When are we going to package these things in a manner that we can now start exporting them? Yes, exporting them. If you go to England, you have the Notting Hill Carnival. The carnival is not for British people. It's not for British people. It is something that existed in the islands, in Jamaica and the surrounding places. Now, because they have been integrated into the English system, they decided that they will import that into the UK. And it has grown in leaps and bounds over the years. And it's one of the biggest carnival. You know how much money that thing produces?
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm just saying that we have it. Only we have not created the business out of it. Because we are happy with the small little events that we organize, 400-500 people, and we are happy, and people are still living in poverty. But if we can lift it a notch higher, package it, craft a proper way of selling it and inviting more people. You understand? For instance, we have, I mean, look, talk about our forts and castles. We know how many forts and castles we have in Ghana. We've had these forts and castles sitting here for centuries. Go check how much money we've made out of these ones. Zero. Go to France, Paris, the capital. France is able to generate more money from tourism than any other country in the world. And they are using some of these things that we have, that we haven't found value. We haven't been able to generate value from.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that tourism, yes, we have seen an increase in tourism activity, especially in the area of entertainment tourism, which is a plus to the tourism authority, I always say.
Okay.
But we will not limit ourselves to that.
No.
There's local tourism, which again we have underutilized. We have seriously underutilized local tourism. And you see, anytime we talk about tourism, people think of historical tourism. You know, it's not just historical. Yes, historical tourism is what it is.
Yeah.
But there are other features of tourism that we can consume in our country, which we are not. Even telling our own stories in tourism. We don't tell our story. Listen, top of your head, how many Ghanaian writers, books, authors for reading generally have we promoted in Ghana? And let me just say, as even compared to Nigeria, look at this Chimamanda lady and how she's, you know, the speed with which she's moving. And not to say Ghanaians are lazy, but Ghanaians have not found a reason to consume their own. This is what I'm saying. Last night, I was just, you know, the book I was just glancing through, a book called 2000 Seasons by Ayikwe. It's an old book that was written sometime in the 60s by a Ghanaian. And these are books that are used in universities in North America. Go to London School of, University of London, SOAS, School of Oriental and African Studies. Some of these books are there, but come to Ghana, we don't even remember them. And that's where the problem is. If you cannot tell the story of your past, forget about the future that you are charting for yourself. So tourism, it is.
I just love the passion with which you speak about it. But then let's situate now the Heritage Month. How does it fit into this whole Make It Ghana conversation?
So are we talking about film production too? Or?
Okay, sorry, we missed that. Film production briefly.
So the third leg of Make It Ghana is the theme of film production. Now, I was actually going to dovetail into the film production when I talked about telling our own stories. You understand? Because, you know, cultures are not created artificially. They emerge, they evolve over time. And the cultures are the stories, the practices, the beliefs, the myths, the legends that we hear about. Okay, all these things feed into the cultures. Okay, and to be able to tell your story, there's no way a foreigner can tell your story better than yourself.
Very true. I actually have a challenge consuming Hollywood movies that are centered in Africa, especially with the varied accents they have in there. I'm wondering, like you're saying, I really agree with you. I think that we have to own it.
Yeah, but you see, the mistake people do is that, and I say this all the time, every science needs an art form to express itself.
Okay.
Every science needs an art form to express itself. The Hollywood movies that you see with an art is actually scientifically structured, because they are able to determine the eyeballs, they project the eyeballs that this particular production can attract. And they know that there's a percentage of African Americans that could potentially consume this. And within the African American community, there's a certain percentage of Africans, migrants, who will consume. So guess what? Anytime they show a black face, there's a black face that is required to speak like the American. I'm telling you. If you speak with the Ghanaians and Nigerians who are trying to break through in Hollywood, you must speak like them for you to get a breakthrough. If you don't speak like them, forget it. And there's the one that should speak like the African. Guess what? They don't like the original African speaking. They like to get somebody there to mimic. You understand? Because language normally comes with gesturings and inflections. and they are not sure whether your gesturings and inflections will be consistent with what they want to sell.
Oh.
So these are scientifically structured. They don't just do it just like that. You understand?
Yeah.
So I am saying that in telling our stories, we need the movies and the film production. First of all, ourselves. And ourselves meaning that we should tell our own stories. But you see, if you don't have a vibrant private sector or vibrant and competitive private sector, advertising is low. Without advertising, you are not going to have a vibrant film and movie industry. True. That's why we are where we are. And we have how many TV stations in Ghana? What is the law that establishes, allows NCA to provide TV, not looking at the opportunity of using these licenses to promote our very own? How do we do it? Why don't you compel everybody with a license to have a particular period within their transmission to compel them to show productions made in Ghana? Why not? What do we lose? Nothing. What do we get? What do we get? Everything. Because Nigeria is doing it. And not just Nigeria. Even in South Africa, you have to do it. Unless you are on a cable TV or what we call DSTV here. That's why you're on your own. But free to air, you lie. You have to show what is produced here. You see, until we create the market, industries cannot survive. So film production, and again, apart from doing our own thing, there's a thing about Make It Ghana that makes Ghana a choice destination for film production. And this is how we can grow and expand the film industry in Ghana. So investment, tourism, film production, you have to make the choice to patronize Ghana, to use Ghana, and Ghana will get far.
Interesting. So now finally, tell us about the Heritage Month and how it situates in this Make It Ghana conversation.
Okay, so Make It Ghana is a wider space that we are talking about. Heritage Month is one element or one vehicle by which we express this our Make It Ghana under the tourism footprint. So under the tourism, we are looking at trying to fashion out the tourism conversations, tourism opportunities, what should drive our tourism, the things that define us that we have long forgotten, our music, our food, our geography. You understand? All these things that we used to do that we've stopped, there's so much value in them. So ours is to remind people to get back to our roots, get back to making use of our God-given what defines us, basically. So that's what the whole month of March. Again, we situate it just to be consistent with our independence anniversary in the month of March. So Make It Ghana, yes, but the Heritage Month is calling on Ghanaians to express the Ghanaian culture and also promote the Ghanaian heritage.
Okay, so finally, to the average Ghanaian who is listening and wondering, where do I start from in being part of this Make It Ghana conversation? For you as a champion in that space, what would be your advice?
Well, you see, it's not a one-off event, so it's difficult to answer that question.
Okay.
But first of all, we need to, as Ghanaians, school ourselves, educate ourselves, and psych ourselves that it will take the consumption of Ghana to make Ghana happen.
Wow.
If you are not ready to patronize Ghana in all its forms, then we have a big problem, because the global competitiveness is about markets. And if you cannot turn this country into a market of your own products and produce, then we have a problem. For instance, we have this National Chocolate Day, and the Cocoa Board and its departments, associated organizations do a good job at promoting. Then I ask myself, post that promotional period, what happens to the Ghana chocolate? Why aren't we compelling state institutions to use Ghana chocolate in at their functions? You know, you see, if you leave people, they'll do what they think is right. But if you know that your life and your fortunes depend on cocoa, cocoa, I've dealt with cocoa farms. Me myself, I've owned cocoa farm before. The cocoa by itself will do nothing for you. It will do nothing for you unless and until it has a market for consumption. That's what brings the value. Not to wait till some country from Europe calls you that you want to buy cocoa. While you wait, how do you trigger and increase consumption in all its forms in Ghana? Because the biggest consumption packages or brands that we have in cocoa most likely don't even come from Ghana, and that's a problem.
And that's a problem. But then thankfully, because of this initiative of Make It Ghana, everybody will begin to look inwards and patronize everything Ghana to ensure that we bring the country to the place it's supposed to be. And on that note, that'll be all for today's edition of the Citi Business Edition.
So look out for the Make It Ghana t-shirts and the baseball caps and the mugs and all the Make It Ghana memorabilia. They'll be available very soon.
Okay. Oh, obviously we can get them online too.
Yes.
Awesome.
We'll put them on.
Awesome. So that was the Managing Director of Citi FM and Citi TV, Mr. Samuel Atta-Mensah, giving us information and highlights on the Make It Ghana initiative that the station is championing. And as you keep your dialogue here, you'd get all the information you need to know about how you can also participate actively in patronizing Ghana. That'll be all for today's edition. Thank you for tuning in. Let's connect on Twitter at Obodu. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you again. Stay safe, stay informed, and bye-bye.